how do you deal with, because I could ask anybody who sits in that chair and be like, how do you deal with the hate?
Yeah.
How do you deal with people attacking your character? Because when I just learned this because I got to a certain level in my life where people will portray me to be something that I'm not. And especially who's somebody who works on his character a lot, it is very suffocating to be like, whoa, I would even make those decisions behind closed doors and you guys are publicly saying I would, and that's like crazy for my heart. Now I'm George Janko, the guy who's like preaching Jesus all the time. I'm not a guy who could like run up on you and fuck you up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what does that do to you knowing that you're reading this shit and you're like, I could kill you?
As far as like criticism or like hate?
Just like people in the industry, one, we won't mention people's names, but people in the industry that come after you when you're, because I realize how this industry works.
It's a good thing.
When they hit at you, it's when the momentum's already going down, so they're trying to even make it go faster.
Yes.
And I've realized that I've had like people make YouTube videos on me and do all these crazy things, but the truth always comes out, and so I'm very safe in that.
You can't worry about that stuff because it's not real. And I got this quote from Bilal Muhammad, who's a fantastic UFC fighter in the welterweight division. Great. He put, when the hate doesn't work, they tell lies. So since I've started in comedy, because I came from a different path, right? I didn't come from open mics. I came from, I had a fan base from the UFC, and then started in a different, my open mics were sold out Brea, Chicago Theater, like these giant venues, which for comics who come from those open mics, it, I'm certain can make them feel a certain way. I totally understand. I expected that.
You brought your own audience.
I get it.
Yeah.
I 100% get it. I'm like, man, if I could help you, which is why I help so many comics. Like, I realized I was fortunate enough to not go through what you guys had to, but my journey was different. And it was not easy.
You still earned it.
Oh, yeah. It was not easy. So it's like, but my way of showing, how grateful I am and gratitude is by helping other comics. So the last two comics who have opened up for me, Chappelle Lacey, David Lucas, both headline now. So that's how I give back, So I expect that stuff and I get it. As far as the hate goes, if it's online, YouTube, like I said, once the hate doesn't work, they have to make up lies. So it's so ridiculous what they'll say to try to, for whatever reason, get clicks or views. When I tell you this, and I'm sure you've had people on here say, I don't read comments. I'm telling you, I don't see any of it.
You don't.
I don't deal with any of it.
I just started doing that this week.
Why would you put why would you give attention or energy?
I wanted to scale my performance. So for example, if I'm on Impulsive and I got added on as a third member 2 years or 3 years after the show has already been successful, when I came on, I was reading a lot of love and it was great, but there was also like some hate. If it got to me, it's because it stood out to my own heart without them even saying it to me. For example, one of them is like, why does he swear so much if he's trying to be a Christian? That gets to me because I'm like, damn, they're right. I should like try to cool off. So I do it in that type of sense where I read and I'm very critical to myself. I just can't stomach the ones that make up their own version of me. And
it's only gonna get worse, brother. You're just getting started. It's only gonna get worse. Sometimes I'll read stuff by myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is insane.
Does it ever affect your relationships between your loved ones or like?
No, they know the game. And they know how crazy and sick people are. And then, there's certain haters where it's almost a weird like obsession. Like they know more stuff about me than it's just insane. Mm-hmm. So it's weird because they're like the ultimate hater, but they have to be obsessed with me to keep continuing to do this stuff. So it's a weird way of love. But also, if you're not getting hate, you're not doing anything right, dude.
Because you're not outside your own bubble.
You're not outside your own bubble, but then also you ain't doing shit. Mm-hmm. Like, name anybody. Anybody. Like, Drake puts out an album. Nobody's bigger than Drake. Drake puts out an album. Go read his comments.
No, he gets hate. He gets
all the hate. You would be like, oh, I bet this guy doesn't make any money. How's he even going to continue to do this? Yeah. It's not real. That stuff's not real, dude. You have so much more love than hate. So if you're going to focus on that hate, you're going down a dicey road, man. Because then you're going to come on here and you'll be real self-conscious.
Yeah, I was. It fucked my mind up, bro.
It's as a creative, it's not good. It made me
second guess everything I was saying.
Can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it. You won't make it, dude. If you read that stuff, you're literally gonna be censoring yourself to what? To this, the guy's probably, doesn't have a job, probably living in his mom's basement. You come to a bitch. Oh, I cuss too much? Okay. Or whatever they're saying. Oh, I don't like when George makes a reference about this. Then you're like, oh, you're gonna be self-conscious
about making the reference,
and then we're not getting the real George. It sucks.
Oh, this is
that's why you can't read it, because it's gonna form your mind, and it's not gonna be your authentic self. Yeah. And people that fuck with you are gonna fuck with you, whether you're cussing, whether you're making references of whatever. And those haters, there's nothing you can do to please them. Trust me, there's nothing you can do to win them over. So why would you why would you parlay or take it over to them? Why would you make sure that you want to make them happy? It's never going to work, dude. It's insanity.
I was reflecting on these conversations with Tanner Fox. He's this he does like scootering and like he drives really fast cars. He blew up at a very young age. He like made his first million at 16, and like we were talking about the industry and the comments and all this stuff. And I told him, I go, as stupid as it sounds, but this industry feels like high school.
Correct.
It feels like high school.
Where they want to pick, but now it's not to interrupt you, but it's high school where they're going to pick on the popular kid.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take down the popular kid because they don't like, for whatever reason, it triggers them that you're friends with Logan, or I'm sure you get this all the time. Only reason he has anything is because of Logan, right? That's not true. That's not true. You're a talented dude. You wouldn't have even been in that situation to be around Logan and get on his podcast if you weren't a talented human being and a good person.
No, I appreciate
so
that.
any of this, I wouldn't be here if you weren't a good person. I'm all set on podcasts, dude.
Yeah.
I
can tell.
I need another podcast like I need STD. You feel me? Like, I'm good.
All right, if you guys liked that clip, go ahead and hit that link in my description and watch the full podcast. You will not regret it. Thanks for your support. Love you.